you know about retro ghetto? Collecting and playing retro. Lock into the retro ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So recently I found out exactly how much CEX would give me both in terms of cash and trading for my 1000 video game collection. If you haven't watched that video, please check out that first, that'll be in the description box below. But I've decided to go one better. What we're going to do now is find out exactly how much CEX would then sell that collection for. It was much debated in the comments and with myself as to how much profit they would make. So today we're going to find out exactly how much money they make on the goods that you sell and trade into them. And not only that, we're then going to break it down even further. We're going to look at each individual console library that I own, and we're going to see exactly what percentage CEX then sell that for against what they offered for cash and trade. So we know exactly which systems we should be selling to CEX and which systems we should not be selling to CEX. Okay, before we get into the facts and the figures, I just want to say this video is not designed to bash CEX in any way, shape or form. I'm a huge advocate of the company, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have anywhere near as many games as you can see behind me in my collection. What this video is designed to do is just to give you, the consumer, a little bit more information when you're heading into any potential deals with them, just so you know which games you probably are best to trade with them and which games you're probably best to deal with elsewhere. Also, it's going to allow you to see exactly how much money they make on you, so again, you can make a more informed decision heading into any potential deal with them.
Retro ghetto.
Okay, so I've got my trusty laptop, all the facts and figures are in. I think I've spent more time this week with a calculator in my hand than since I was at junior school, and I discovered that you could write boobies and boobless on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each individual console, we're going to look at cash, trade, and then what they sell that for, before we come up with the overall figure of what they'll be selling my 1000 video game collection for, and as I say, then break it down into each individual console to look at the percentages to really see where they make the most money on us. Okay, Nintendo GameCube, they are giving £136 10 cash, trade £178.30, they will then sell that for £323.50. We're then heading to PlayStation 2, £111.48 cash, trade £177.58, they will sell that for £482.50. Some of these results are going to be very interesting, we'll speak about them a little bit more at the end. What's next? Dreamcast, £93.40 cash, trade £119.90, they sell it for £176. PlayStation 3, £306.85 cash, £466.61 trade, and they'll sell that collection for £917. My very small Xbox One collection, £47.61, which then is trading at £74.81, and they'll sell that for £128. Game Boy, £297 cash, £372 trade-in value, and they will then sell it for £523. Mega Drive, £466.80 cash, trade £632, and they'll sell that for £1,050. Nintendo Switch, £446 cash, £641 trade-in, or £858 is what they would sell that for in store. Nintendo Wii, £109.26 is what they would give me cash. £168.56 trade-in, they would sell my collection for £350. PS4, £244.71 cash, £335.30 trade-in, or £523 is what they will sell it for. Xbox 360, £184.34, £282.91 trade, they'll sell it for £539. We're nearly there, guys. PlayStation 1, £161.90, £242 trade-in, or £381 is what they'll sell it for. Wii U, guys, this is a full set, remember, I'm only a few away, there'll be an update coming soon on my quest to complete that set. But for nigh on a full set of Wii U games, £968.60 is the cash they'd offer me. £1,425.80 trade, and they will then sell that for £2,251.50. We'll be looking at that later. Super Nintendo, my biggest collection, my favourite collection. They offer me £3,315 cash, £4,189 trade-in, or £5,952 is what they would then sell that for. Now that we've gone through all of those figures, thanks for bearing with me, we're going to look at the total. So the total, as we mentioned in the previous video, the cash they're offering me is £6,889.05, trade-in £9,306.37, and now the big one, how much will they sell my entire collection for? £14,454.50. That's crazy. A lot of people in the comments were saying 30 grand, and I think the vast majority of people thought it'd be higher than that. So I don't know if that reflects CEX in a good light. As I say, we're going to break these down in a moment. I actually guessed about 15k, so I wasn't too far off. If there is anything I do know, it is CEX and their pricing. Guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think that the value of what they would sell this as? If they're giving me just over £9,000 trading credit, I'm going to guess 15 grand that they would be selling them for in the stores. But yeah, 14.5k pretty much. However, there is a big caveat to that, and something that we need to bear in mind. You're not going to be able to walk in store and find all of these games in your local store, right? So what you have to do to that number is add £2,000. It's approximately 1,000 games. It's very close to being £2 per postage. That takes a total up to what? 16,454.50. In the interest of fairness, I'm not going to do the sums and the percentages using the postage included, but it's definitely something worth bearing in mind. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the percentages a little bit more now. So the cash to trade percentage as an average rule is 35%. That's the difference between what they offer you cash and what they offer you trade. The trade to sale price, the difference between that is 55%. And what that means is, and arguably most shockingly, is that the cash to them what they sell it for is 110% as an average. We're now going to break that number down into each individual console, so we're going to be able to see exactly which games they make the most money on and which games they make the least money on trading against you. So the best games to sell to CEX, i.e. the ones they make the least money on you on, is Xbox One at just 57%. I think the reasons for that are Game Pass, and I think generally Xbox consumers are quite more digitally led than PlayStation and other consumers out there. So yeah, 57% on Xbox One. Others that aren't too high include Super Nintendo. Surprisingly, right? Yeah, 80% markup they're making on what they offer you cash and what they then sell it for. And I think that's indicative of the fact they just want you to bring your Super Nintendo goods in. I think if you've got Super Nintendo games, you're a collector at this point. So I think they know they've got to give you a half decent price to tempt you to bring them in. And they sell like, you know, hotcakes once they have them in the store anyway. So it's in their benefit to get you to bring them in. And I say the same applies to the Nintendo Switch, where it's a 92% increase. Again, something which is selling very, very well on the shelves. And again, they want you to bring your goods in so they can put them on their shelves and make that profit. Now we're going to look at the worst things to sell to CEX in terms of the percentage from cash to what they sell it for. Some of these are quite shocking. The worst system to sell to CEX in terms of average percentage increase from cash to trade, from cash to them selling it, is PlayStation 2. Guys, they make 333%. That's based on an average on my collection. It's quite a strong collection, so I think it's indicative of, as a rule. Yeah, 333% they're making. And other consoles that we look at on here that also have quite a high margin is PlayStation 3 at 199%, Xbox 360 at 192%, and Nintendo Wii at 220%. Now, all of those consoles are of a very similar generation. They're the sort of games that you trip over in charity shops. And I think the reason that they offer so low against what they sell it for is that these people are still having the houses full of them, right? People still have piles of games that they're taking. We've all been in CEX when there's carrier bags full, and quite often they're 360, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii. So I think what they're doing is able to give people a lower price because people are just trying to get rid of this stuff and declutter. But equally, I think they know that there is some value in some of those games, and they are starting to increase. I just don't think what they've offered in cash has quite caught up to what they're then selling it for. Hopefully videos like this will open their eyes to that, and hopefully as a seller going forwards, we'll be able to get a little bit of a better margin on those games when we're trading and selling to CEX. Right, so that's it. The calculator has been put away. I'm never ever doing this again. I don't know how many hours I've spent collating all this information twice. It actually took a little bit longer this time round because you can only enter 50 at a time. And the reason you haven't seen screenshots on this video of each console and the total value is because unlike when you're selling to them, when you're buying, if the game isn't in stock, you can't add it to your basket. But these are the facts, have all been double checked. And as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's just giving you a little bit more ammunition if it's going into any business dealings with CEX, that you're just now a little bit more equipped. Equally, CEX, if you're watching, feel free to respond to this video. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say in response to these figures being broken down. As always, play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.
Retro Ghetto.